Hello, so how does accommodation, swimming with flumes, soft play, fairground rides, circus, disco rollerblading, West End quality shows, amazing kids shows and entertainment sound for £23 a night? Woo! Let's see. Hello and welcome back to another video. As you can tell from the thumbnail, today I'm just going to go over the most recent trip that we've been on, which was, in my opinion, Britain's best value holiday. The reasons why I think that I'll talk about in this video. I'll speak about where we've been, where we stayed, how much it costs, what was actually included in that price, and everything else. I'll go into detail, but I'll be as quick as I can. I don't want it to be boring because it's just me talking. So as you can probably tell from the thumbnail, maybe you can tell, maybe you can't, it was actually Butlins that we've been to, Butlins Skegness Resort. You may have watched some videos on the channel already. I have put a few videos on there from Butlins already. So I'll first talk about where it is, how much it costs, and what the accommodation was that we stayed in. We stayed in a fairground apartment, a 2-bedroom fairground apartment. This was at Butlins Skegness Resort. It's situated in a small seaside town on the Lincolnshire coast, Skegness. There is 3 Butlins. This is the only one so far in the north. The other 2, Bognor Regis and Minehead, are well down south, like 5.5 hours away from us. So that's why we chose Skegness. So yeah, it was a 2-bedroom fairground apartment. There was me, Kerry and Albie. The other 2 kids were at school. So it was a midweek term time break. So it was Monday to Friday, 4 nights in April, while kids are at school. We paid £93. It was advertised on Butlins website for 113, but we got £20 off, and I'll tell you how. There's an app called Kids Pass, and Kids Pass is a sort of a discount app, so you'll get discount on hotels, restaurants, family attractions, days out, things like that. And it was £20 off a Butlins booking anytime, as long as the booking is over £69, you'd get a code from the kids app. You get a Butlins code to put in the promotional code box for booking Butlins, and that gives you £20 off any booking over £69. So this was advertised for the fairground apartment, £113. We put the code in. It cost me £1 for 30-day trial of the Kids Pass. I don't know if that's always on, but currently it's £1 for 30 days trial. So I paid the £1, got the 30-day trial. I cancelled it straight away, but I still had the 30 days to use it. So it cost me £1 to get £20 off Butlins. So it cost us £93. That's for 3 of us for 4 nights. And that works out at £23.25 a night. And that's £7.75 per person per night for the 3 of us. So for £7.75 per person per night, I'm going to go through everything that was included for that price. There's loads of additional things that you can do, and there is an upcharge cost for a lot of things, but I'm only going to go through the things we did. I'm going to go through like a diary. Everything that we did on the 4 days we were there, and we didn't do anything that costs extra. We didn't pay anything that was an additional upcharge. The only things we paid for are souvenirs, toys and food and drink while we're there. So you can, with Butlins, you can arrive at 1 p.m. Like I say, we stayed Monday to Friday, so on the Monday you can arrive at 1 p.m. Our accommodation wasn't going to be ready until 4. There is several different standards of accommodation. Some of them you may get earlier access. I'm not sure if Gold or Seaside might let you have access to your accommodation a little bit earlier. You can pay. I think you can pay about £20 to get much earlier access from about 1 o'clock. But our accommodation on this day was open to us from 4 o'clock. However, because you can check in to Butlins Resort from 1 o'clock, You can use all the attractions, you can use all the facilities in the resort from 1 o'clock before your accommodation opens at 4. So we had a little bit of a day out in Skegness beforehand, so we checked into Butlins at 3 o'clock. So we had an hour to sort of explore the resort before our accommodation was open. So we left all our things in the car, parked up in the car park. We checked in at 3 o'clock in the South drive-through check-in. It's so easy to check in. You stay in your car, you drive through, there's booths. Each booth has got a range of letters in the alphabet. So it'll be like A to G, and then so on and so forth. So if your surname is in that A to G, if your surname starts with an F, you go into that lane and they'll have your paperwork. So you don't even get out of the car. You just speak to the person in the booth. They give you your details. They give you your wristbands. They tell you accommodation. And off you go. So you park up. Because we checked in at 3, and we had an hour to wait before our accommodations would open. So we just explored the site. We went in the tent and I looked around. We went in the fairground. We did a few rides on the fairground. And that is all included. So once you've got your wristbands on, you don't need to pay anything for the fairground rides. I do have a video on the channel that is a full tour of the fairgrounds. So it shows you every ride. The time that we was there, not every ride was in operation. I have been assured by Butlins that everything will be up and running very, very soon. They do have a couple of bigger rides that are not currently working because they're being refurbished. There's a new floor being laid for the Dodgems. The waltzes are being refurbished and they're being put back in. So at some point in the very near future, all the rides will be available as a full offering. But when we went, there was only a handful of rides. It was still good, and obviously bear in mind there's no extra cost for any of these rides, so you can just go in and just use them. It is free flow. There's a fairground tour on the channel, and I've also got an accommodation tour on the channel. If you want to know what a fairground apartment looks like, feel free to watch the video. That shows you everything that's inside, where it is with reference to the fairground and the tent, everything that's included in the 2-bedroom apartment. What we did is the fairground at 3. And then we went back to our accommodation with our luggage for 4 o'clock when it was open. I did have swimming booked for 4:30 on the Monday. That's a top tip. If you go in Monday to Friday, book swimming on that Monday at 4:30. That's the only time that I know of. It's the only time that we was there anyway that you can book 4:30 as a slot for the swimming. Every other day we was there, the latest slot that you could book for swimming was 3:30. So because it was arrival day on the Monday, we thought 4:30 would be a good time for swimming. That's the only one we could really get after the accommodation was open at 4. So we went back to the accommodation, dropped our things off at 4. 4:30 we was at Splash Water World ready to swim. And the top tip for that is always book that one if you want to do the swimming, because it was so quiet. We went on that Monday and all the slides were a walk on. Currently, as I'm recording this, and as it was when we went, there was no main pool open. They are refurbishing the main pool, so that's all closed off. However, the small toddler pool is open. That's sort of about 1 foot to 2 feet deep in the deeper end at the max. As it is for toddlers, it is for little kids. There is 3 sort of small slides that go into that deeper end of that small pool. But all 4 attractions on the Flumes and the Lazy River and the family raft ride, they was all open. And because we went at 4:30 on the Monday, everything, all of those was just a walk on every time. You took the raft up to the top of the stairs, you got on the slide, you went straight down. The other 2 Flumes that are there was no queuing whatsoever. Got to the front of the steps, the staff member then waved you on and said, go ahead. And then there's a Lazy River that just goes outside a little bit and then sort of comes back in. That was just, you just get straight on that anyway. So it was so quiet. That was at 4:30 on the first day we arrived, Monday. So there's no cost for that either. No additional cost for the swimming. And we ate at Burger King on that night. So our Monday looked like we arrived at 3:30. We did some fairground rides, had a look around the resort. No additional cost for any of that. Went to our accommodation, dropped our things off, got ready for swimming, went straight to swimming at 4. Again, no additional cost for the swimming. And we had an awesome time at the pool. We was thinking if it's like this every day, then it'd be amazing. So that was our first evening. On the Tuesday, our second day, we had the circus booked for 10. Now, because the swimming pool, the main pool, isn't open, and it hasn't been for quite some time, and I don't think it's going to be till at least July, from what I've been told. Maybe well after that, but it's at least July. Because the main pool isn't open at the minute, Butlins do offer two sort of compensation activities as a result of the pool not being open, the main pool. So they offer the circus, which is usually an upcharge of about £7 per person, but you can book that for free whilst the main pool isn't open. There's also a rollerblading. The disco rollerblading is free, and it's also free flow, so you can just turn up to that, get your rollerblades and have a go. And there's no additional cost for any of those because the pool is not fully open. So on the Tuesday at 10 o'clock, we booked the circus. We went to that. The circus was really good. The circus is a Gandhi's circus, and it's just like a usual circus that you would get. It's probably slightly less time in length than a usual circus, but it's really good. It was well worth watching. There's some really good performers in that. And it was a fantastic sort of offering from Butlins. Again, no additional cost for that currently, for us anyway. We did soft play at 2 o'clock. So the soft play is again pre-bookable, so you book a slot for that. The only thing I would say about the soft play is that adults aren't allowed into the actual soft play itself, so you have to sort of sit back. You're sort of in rows as if you're watching a show. So you'll sit down in chairs in rows and you'll watch your kids in the big soft play. So we did that at 2 o'clock. Again, no additional cost. We did the fairground again. We went and did some more rides at no additional cost. Like I said, everything that we did, everything that I'm going to run through that we did in our 4 days there was no additional cost. At the end of the video, I'll go through things that you could pay for if you wish to. Additional activities that have got an upcharge, and I'll tell you the price of those and what they are. And again, on the Tuesday, we decided to go swimming again because it was so good on the Monday, so quiet, and everything was a walk on. We booked swimming again for the Tuesday, but this time it was booked for 3:30, which was the latest slot we could get for the Tuesday. So we went swimming at 3:30 after the soft play, and it was very busy. It was nothing like it was on the Monday. It was extremely busy. There was a huge queue outside waiting to get in. Once you get in, it was really hard to find a family changing room. It was hard to find a large locker to put all our things. And there was a bit of a queue at each of the flumes. And the toddler pool was absolutely packed, really packed. Like there was no room to sort of lay down in the pool pretty much. It was just packed, everybody in there. So that was at 3:30 on the Tuesday. On the Wednesday, we did more fairground. Just because we was in a fairground apartment, and that is literally located opposite the fairground. So as soon as we walk out, even on the way to the tent for us, or on the way to any other activity or area in Butlins, we go past the fairground. So we kept popping in to go on a few rides with Albie. And by this point, I think a couple more of the rides were open, so the offering was a little bit better. Still, the Dodgems and the Waltzers weren't open for our whole time we was there, but like I said, they're getting refurbished, so they'll be open shortly. So, and then on a Wednesday tea time, we went to the Sky Park, which is a really modern, it's fairly new. I think it was only put up last year or the year before. And I spent about £2 million on this Sky Park. I think it's got 3 huge towers with really cool slides coming from them. And there's really cool climbing apparatus to get to the top of these towers as well. There's swings, there's roundabouts, there's really modern sort of interactive sort of items in the park, digital sort of things. However, I would recommend the Sky Park at night. We went to it later on that evening when it was dark, and it's all lit up, and it's absolutely fantastic at night. The slides, as you go down the slides, they do light up inside, all different colours, and it's all different experience on an evening. So I would recommend trying the Sky Park on an evening. And other than that, on the Wednesday, we had a pretty lazy day. We just wandered around. We went to the sort of beach area. There is access direct to the beach at the back of the park. If you go out Actually, I have done a full site tour of Butlins. So the 3 videos that I've got on the site from Butlins are a full site tour, which I would recommend you go see. That shows you everything that's there, the location of everything, even the secret location of the Humpty Dumpty, if you're interested in that. And then the other 2 videos are a fairground apartment tour. That's the ones we stayed in. That's a full tour of the apartment, the 2-bedroom apartment, with everything that's in the kitchen, all the utensils and everything that you get. And then the 3rd video for Butlins is the full fairground tour. So I would recommend watching any of those if you're interested in those. And on the Wednesday, we went to the beach bit. We decided to walk to the back and have a look at the beach access, which is really good. It was not a very nice day when we went. It was a bit cloudy and a bit cold. In fact, the whole time we was there, it was really cold and bitter cold. But yeah, we went and had a look at the beach. And then on Thursday, which was our last full day there, we booked the Peppa Pig Circus show. That was at 1 o'clock, and that was in the main stage inside the tent. That was really good. We did Animals vs Dinosaurs at 4 p.m. and that is a show you must watch. I think in the whole time we was there, it was only on the Thursday. There was 2 shows, one at 4 and I think one at 7 or 8 o'clock on the evening. I highly recommend that show. If it's on when you go, watch that show because it's brilliant. The guy, I think he's called Craig, the main guy who sort of presents it on stage, is a born performer. He's brilliant. And it was just a really good show, and it has important messages in it as well. So it was good. On the Thursday, we decided to go and eat at the Beachcomber Inn, which was the pub style sort of restaurant that's on site. There is plenty of other options to eat on site. There is Papa John's, there's Burger King, there's several Butlins owned sort of restaurants, all you can eat. There is a dining plan you can get. We didn't do any of the dining plan because we thought we're going to take some food with us from home and we're going to do meals. We've booked a fairground apartment with a kitchen, with all the appliances in the kitchen. We had a microwave, we had a toaster, we had a cooker, an oven. So we thought we'll use that. We'll bring the food, make it a little bit cheaper. We did actually want to not spend a penny there. We wanted to spend the £93 to get there and not spend another penny there. But we wanted to try the Beachcomber Inn. It was Mexican night on the Thursday, and it was like a buffet, and we couldn't resist. We thought we'll go for that, and that was really nice food. It was a decent value. It was cheaper than the other Butlins sort of dining plan restaurants, the Yacht Club and the Deck. But there is plenty of other options to eat. There's a chip shop that was really quite reasonably priced. Inside the tent, and that was that. So that everything that I've just spoke about we did at no additional cost, with the exception of the food, with the exception of Burger King on the Monday night, and then on Thursday the Beachcomber Inn. So for £93 we got swimming for 2 days with the flumes and the toddler pool. We got a circus show. We got a Peppa Pig stage show, which was really good. We got Animals vs Dinosaurs, which was fantastic. We did pop in on an evening, each evening, we did pop in to have a look at the entertainment in Reds and in Studio 36. So we saw a Queen tribute band for a little bit in Studio 36. We saw Taylor Swift tribute in Reds. Every single evening, there's really good entertainment on at least 3 of the entertainment areas. So you've got Studio 36, which is the newest one. That's outside. That's 1,500 capacity seater. And then inside you've got Centre Stage, which is about 1,200 capacity, I think. And then you've also got Reds, which is just on the outside, which is a entertainment complex where they have continual entertainment from about 6:30 till about 10 o'clock every night. There's something going on. So every evening there's really good shows. Some of them are actually like West End style shows, like the Animals vs Dinosaurs, the Queen tribute, Royal Rhapsody, I think they're called. Absolutely brilliant, amazing entertainment, considering there's no additional cost for any of those. So that's the 3 activities that we did. We saw the shows, we did the swimming, we did the fairground, we did the sky park. There is some things that are free that we could have done, but we didn't for one reason or another. So there's the rollerblading disco, which I spoke about. We didn't do that just because Albie wouldn't be able to get on it. There wasn't any rollerblades available for his shoe size because he's only 2. I think you probably have to be a minimum of 5 to be able to get the rollerblades to go on it. There was a Matrix Illusion Magic show a couple of times while we was there. I think that was maybe on the first night, but we did have it booked, but we just didn't fancy it at the time, so I cancelled the booking. There was an Ed Sheeran tribute. There was a Festivals Rock show, an ABBA themed music show. All these are included in that cost at no additional price. During your stay, there was Tots Fun Football. There was Fun Football for 5 to 7, and then 8 to 12 as well. But we booked the Tots Fun Football for Albie. But on the resort tour, I looked at it and I thought he won't play the football. He'll pick the ball up and run with it because that's what he does with the football. He grabs it and runs off with it. There's things like Billy's Fun Fitness in the Skyline Pavilion. There's Puppet Show in the Skyline Pavilion. There was a Jack and the Beanstalk Panto style show, which I did book, but I cancelled beforehand because I thought that maybe Albie wouldn't sit for an hour and watch Jack and the Beanstalk. He did sit and watch Animals vs. Dinosaurs. He's only 2, so he hasn't got great attention span on things like that. He watched the Animals vs. Dinosaurs, he watched Peppa Pig, but toward the end he was getting a little bit sort of agitated and wanting to run off and things. So Jack and the Beanstalk, I don't think he would want to watch. And so all of them things I've just mentioned, none of them are an additional cost. You pay that £93 or whatever you pay. We paid 93 for a fairground apartment, and that is sort of toward the higher end apartment. That's the higher end accommodation for Butlins. I'll put a comparison up now, and that's all the different accommodations. There's standard, there's silver plus, like silver new style apartments. There's gold, there's fairground, there's seaside. And you can see from the comparison table the different things that are included in that accommodation. I don't think they're all too dissimilar in standard and sort of quality. Like I said, we stayed at Fairground because we've just never stayed at Fairground. I've never stayed at Fairground apartment, and I thought I'd wanted to try it, so we'll give that a go. But for the £93 we paid for 4 nights, I can't stress enough how much value you get at Butlins for the price you pay. £93 for 4 nights accommodation anywhere would be an amazing deal. Just in a travel lodge in the middle of nowhere, to get 4 nights for £93 for 2 adults and a child would be great. But the fact that you get all these things included in that price is just amazing. It's mind-boggling that they even do that. That's why I wanted to put this video out, to sort of explain to people that in my opinion, this is Britain's best value holiday. It has to be. So yeah, as I said, there is other things that you can do. There's other paid activities which you can do, which we didn't do. We wanted to do £93 that we pay, and we didn't want to pay anything else on top of that. We wanted to see what you could get for the standard break charge. So there is things like, there's laser tag, which is 6+, and that's £15 per person. There's precise target shooting, that's for 12+, that costs £12 as well. There's t-shirt design, where they give you a blank white t-shirt and you can sort of use their paints and stencils and things to design a t-shirt. You get to keep the t-shirt, obviously. That costs £12 per person. There's Balanceability, which is £6, which is the little bikes with the no pedals. It's just for the little ones, where it's got a seat and the bike frame and the handles so they can push with the feet. That was £6 per person. There's mini archery and normal archery. The mini archery is for the littler kids, the archery is for the slightly older kids. That's £6 for the mini, £12 for the normal archery. There's pottery painting, which is £10. So designed like a piece of pottery, and it's quick drying paint, so you can take that with you when it's done. When the session's finished, you take that with you and you keep that. That was £10 for that. There is a free fall, which is where you climb up this big sort of pole and then jump off. You are obviously attached via a harness and cable, but the free fall is for 8+, and that is £8. There's a high ropes course, which is for the bigger kids because it looks fairly difficult. That'd be £15 per person, and the climbing wall is £12 per person. The climbing wall is for 5+. and that's £12 each. The go-karts, which are situated in the fairground, they are £7 each. There's two types. I did go through this in the fairground tour if you want to watch that, but two types of go-kart. There's a double, a dual go-kart and a single. It's £7 for each. You go in the dual one if you're putting a little kid in with you. The old kids might want their own, but it's £7 each regardless. And then there's football academy coaching, which was £10. So those are all things that you can actually pay for as an additional upcharge during your stay at Butlins Skegness. Like I said, we just did everything that was already included. We didn't want to do anything that was an extra charge. So the fact that you get everything what I've mentioned that we did included in your price. I mean, there is actually even options to get it cheaper. You can. I have seen it Monday to Friday for 2 adults and a toddler for £49 in a standard apartment. And for that £49, you get the accommodation for 4 nights, but you also get everything that we did. You get all the shows, the West End shows. There's 4 entertainment areas in total. There's Studio 36, there's Reds, there's Centre Stage, and the Skyline Pavilion. The Skyline Pavilion is free flow. You don't need to book that. They do ask you to book most of the entertainments that are in the other 3 venues, just so they know if it's full or not. But the whole time we was there, nobody asked to see any bookings. All they asked to see was the wristband. So you could walk in and out freely, whether you've booked or not, during our stay. I'm not saying that's the case all the time. Maybe when it's extremely busy during half terms and things, you do have to pre-book and stick to that. So we pre-booked anyway, but they just didn't ask for proof of that. So you get all the entertainment areas, you get the swimming, you get the fun fair, you get the sky park, you get the soft play, you get some of the entertainment for the littler ones. There is an area where you can go and play American pool, you can play pool and darts. Apparently the darts are free. You do have to pay per game of pool, so I'm told. We didn't do that just because albeit I've no interest in any of that. So in summary, Butlins Skegness was an absolutely amazing break at an absolutely incredible price, and we want to go again. The only reason we haven't sort of considered Minehead or Bognor Regis is because it's just so far away for us. Skegness was a couple of hours drive. Bognor Regis and Minehead are like over 5 hours for us, so that's just too much for us. We would probably just go to Skegness again. But even for £113 without the kids pass, £113 for 4 nights is an insane price. The fact that we got it for £93 is even better. So I hope that sort of explained a little bit about what's included, about why I believe that Butlins is genuinely Britain's best value holiday as per the thumbnail. If you've got any comments or any questions, please do pop them down below. I do read every comment and I'll reply to everything. If you've got any questions, if I can answer them, I will. And if you enjoyed the video, if it was interesting, if you found it helpful at all, please do pop a little like on the video. Don't forget to hit the subscribe button. And until next time, I will see you on the next one. Bye-bye.